Battle Through the Heavens God, The Flame Emperor Chapter 221, Conversation Between Mysterious People. In the cave that was divided from east to west on the third floor of the infernal corpse forest, with a burst of space squirming, a mysterious person suddenly appeared in front of Xiaoyan's eyes. In the space, people who appear at random, even if they are as powerful as Long Yi, have never seen them, so Xiaoyan's heart is full of curiosity about this person at this time. Xiaoyan looked at the person in front of him carefully, and saw that she was about the same age as himself. After all, his cultivation base had reached a certain level of strength, his age and appearance were not so important. However, this figure is slender and looks very handsome. She was wearing a silver long gown, with silver light shining from time to time, very beautiful. This person had a smile on his face, giving people a very cordial feeling. There was a strange brilliance in his eyes, which made Xiaoyan feel an indescribable mystery. The silver figure in front of him was also looking at Xiaoyan, but there was a hint of surprise in his eyes. This is the kid who has entered the secret realm, and there are indeed some secrets on him. Xiaoyan was also the first to break the deadlock and said, "Who is your excellency? You don't need to know who I am, you just need to know that I'm not your enemy." The silver figure smiled lightly. Through the perception of huge soul power, Xiaoyan knew that the strength of the silver figure in front of him was extremely terrifying. According to Xiaoyan's guess, Wu Zhong was not as good as the silver figure in front of him. Moreover, Xiaoyan also discovered that even the soul power of the Emperor realm mortal level can only detect a general situation in this cave, which is very surprising to Xiaoyan. In the end, the silver figure in front of him could come here from another dimension so easily. This is very rare, and Xiaoyan is also extremely curious about this. The silver figure in front of him also seemed to have guessed some of Xiaoyan's questions, and then someone laughed, "You can just call me Xiaoyu. What's your name? I think that although you are young, your strength has reached the level of the initial stage of the 4-star Dode, and it is also extremely tyrannical. And you have the same thing that surprised me. According to my observation, there are several different flames implicit in your body, which is a very strange thing. A kind of flame is extremely violent and powerful, not to mention the fusion of so many flames. Ordinary people can't have so many flame powers at the same time, especially flames whose properties are mutually exclusive. But you have several flames in one body, which may be the difference between you and ordinary people." The silver figure is also not in a hurry. Said, obviously the secrets of Xiaoyan have also seen some clues. As for Long Yi and the Golden Dragon King, it is difficult for even the strong Dode to detect, so Xiaoyan is not worried. And the most important thing is that Xiaoyan didn't feel murderous aura from this silver figure, so he started talking with him slowly. Hearing this, Xiaoyan was also shocked. He didn't expect that he could see at a glance the secrets that he was carrying several kinds of flames. Xiaoyan said softly, "My name is Yan Xiao, I came here by accident, why is your excellency here? Looking at you, it seems that there is a hint of evil aura hidden in your body. This is obviously not the ghostly aura in the corpse forest. What's going on?" When Xiaoyu heard the words, her eyes flashed, and she looked straight at Xiaoyan. Then Xiaoyu smiled and said, "Your eyes are very sharp, you can even notice it, but if I tell you, I've been here for a long time, and naturally I have a little ghost, do you believe it? Or, do you believe me when I say I'm a ghost? Actually, no matter who I am, it doesn't matter. The important thing is that there is no misunderstanding between us now. Just like now, everyone is happy together, why should you care about my identity? Just like I don't ask you, why do you have several flames in your body, do you think so?" Xiaoyan thought about it for a while, then smiled and said, "That's right, meeting is fate. You come to see me from another dimension, it can be considered a fate. No matter what happens between us in the future, at least now we can live in peace and be a pair of unfamiliar but familiar friends." Xiaoyu's face was overjoyed and she said with a smile, "After so many years, I have finally found someone who can talk. It's really hard to wait. Now I'll take you to another place to sit for a meeting. Let's have a good chat. You remember to follow me closely, don't lose it. Be careful, let's go." After Xiaoyu finished speaking, her hands moved to the left and right, the space in the cave was squirming, and suddenly a door of space appeared again. Then Xiaoyu's slender body turned into a silver light, like moonlight, and shot into the door in an instant. However, Xiaoyan turned into a milky white light, and disappeared in a blink of an eye. With a flash of brilliance, that door of space disappeared in an instant. When Xiaoyan appeared again, he was already in a very bright and dry cave. Taking a closer look around, Xiaoyan knew that this was where Xiaoyu lived, but he didn't know why she lived here. Xiaoyan couldn't guess at this point for a while. Xiaoyu smiled and said, "Sit down, are you guessing, why do I live in such a place? In fact, there is nothing. As long as you check carefully, you will find that this cave is different from other places in the infernal corpse forest. This place is full of douqi suitable for you humans to absorb and cultivate, and it is the place where douqi gathers in the entire yin corpse forest. If you are interested, you can try to see if you can absorb some emperor qi to enhance your cultivation." Xiaoyan hesitated for a while, looking at Xiaoyu. A strange thought occurred in his heart. In Xiaoyan's heart, the feeling of Xiaoyu is very strange. He understands that his soul power will never go wrong. The news he found from Xiaoyu is that Xiaoyu has a powerful aura. It's just that this breath is not a ghost breath. Although I don't know what kind of breath it is, this breath has slowly transformed into another kind of breath. Even so, based on Xiaoyan's excellent soul perception, it can still be judged that his strength is definitely not weak. Maybe, as he said, he is not necessarily a ghost. If he is a ghost, would you like to be with him? At this moment, Xiaoyan's thoughts were racing in his heart, and suddenly, he remembered what his master, the Golden Dragon King, said. I remember that my master Dragon King once said that in this world, the so-called demons and ghosts are not all bad, just like people have good and evil. If that's the case, why should he care too much? As long as he doesn't have any malice towards him, that's enough. Thinking of this, Xiaoyan smiled. In another place, Mu Yingying also stared at a well and said, Big Tiger, is this the place you're talking about? Yes, it's just that the creatures here are very powerful. I think we should not go down, otherwise I'm afraid. Before the humanoid heavenly sacred tiger words were finished, Mu Yingying rolled up her sleeves, and then it turned into a ray of light and entered the well. My little ancestor. After heavenly sacred tiger finished speaking, he followed, for fear that something might happen to this little ant. Hey, the ghost energy on the third floor of the corpse forest is really serious. It seems that the finals should be here. The top 10 powerhouses are also gathering here one after another, the battle of the powerhouses. But why is the ghost energy on the third floor so weird? I can't tell you the specifics. Luo Guang also appeared on the third floor of the infernal corpse forest and said to Chapter 222, Cooperate. I don't know why, the Emperor's energy in this cave is quite strong. At this time, there are only Xiaoyan and the silver figure Xiaoyu in the quiet cave. The reason why Xiaoyan followed Xiaoyu through the space was because of a message from Long Yi on the ancient ruler of eternal fire behind him, so Xiaoyan also followed with peace of mind. Looking at the cave a little, he found that the Emperor Qi in the cave was very strong, and that Ghost Qi was also isolated by some mysterious power. Xiaoyan smiled and said, You are right, although I noticed something abnormality in you, but since we're here, we're friends. After speaking, I also felt that Xiaoyu had not changed, and then started the flame mantra, ready to give it a try and absorb the Emperor Qi. Here. The next moment, the milky white flame light on Xiaoyan's body slowly surrounded his body, and the flame mantra suddenly displayed without warning. In an instant, countless flames of air flashing with various lights appeared in the cave, colorful and very splendid. At this time, the Emperor Qi in the cave instantly moved towards Xiaoyan's body, revolved around him rapidly, and was inhaled into his body the next moment. Xiaoyan is like a bottomless pit. The huge and rich Emperor Qi in the cave continuously flows towards Xiaoyan's body. Xiaoyan is also slowly absorbing these breaths, and his body has an indescribable comfort. Seeing this, Xiaoyu's face changed slightly, and there was a trace of contemplation in her eyes. He seemed to be thinking about what kind of practice Xiaoyan was using at this time, and why he had never seen it or heard of it. Seeing Xiaoyan constantly absorbing those Emperor Qi, Xiaoyu didn't care at all. She said with a smile, Slowly absorb it, wait until you have finished absorbing it. These hours will protect the law for you. When Xiaoyan heard this, he felt relieved and absorbed the Emperor's Qi in the cave, because what Long Yi said. before was that the person in front of him was probably the most powerful being in the entire infernal core. Silver Moon Sirius. It was rumored that the Silver Moon Sirius was extremely friendly, and the Yin Corpse forest became stable under his management. Legend has said that Silver Moon Sirius in the Yin Corpse forest lives on the 3rd floor, and it is very difficult to find him, but every time someone encounters Silver Moon Sirius, they can get a lot of benefits. Several kinds of brilliance flames flickered on Xiaoyan's body, and he liked the gentle emperor's aura here very much. Because Xiaoyan was at the bottom of the volcano when he conquered the dragon soul in the secret realm before, and absorbed a lot of flame power, the flame in his body was also quite excited. At this time, seeing this extremely gentle Emperor Qi, he naturally likes it very much. The neutralization of the two can also help Xiaoyan to continuously expand the sea of Emperor Qi in his body. Therefore, under the operation of flame mantra, his body can't help but frantically absorb it. Time passed minute by minute, Xiaoyan was slowly absorbing the Emperor Qi in the cave until the Emperor Qi in the cave became thinner, and then he slowly quit the cultivation state. After a while, Xiaoyan smiled and said, "The Emperor Qi here is very helpful to me." According to Xiaoyan's guess, he just broke through the 4-star Dode not long ago, and now you have absorbed such a huge amount of gentle power, so his strength should be stabilized at the level of the initial 4-star Dode. Your Excellency has always been here, no wonder your cultivation is so deep. Xiaoyan also laughed. I have lived here for thousands of years, and I have already seen the matter of cultivation. Birth, old age, sickness, and death, human nature, the way of cultivation, and longevity is just a moment. Xiaoyu also muttered to herself. You said that this is the entire infernal corpse forest, the place where the Emperor's Qi is the strongest. I don't know what this place is. Xiaoyan asked. Xiaoyu smiled slightly and said, you don't have to worry about this, I will tell you later. Let's talk about something else now. Are you finally going to show your true face? Xiaoyan also smiled secretly. From what Long Yi said before, Xiaoyan knew that Xiaoyu should be asking for something from him, so he treated himself like this, otherwise he would treat him like this. If you have the strength, you will definitely not be able to last 3 rounds. What's the matter with your excellency? It's better to say it. If I can help, I will be happy to help. I want to ask you, you should be an alchemist with a high rank, right? Xiaoyu also looked at Xiaoyan with a smile. Xiaoyan was slightly taken aback and said, I don't know your excellency. Xiaoyan was also guarding Xiaoyu at this time. After all, the soul of a high-level alchemist is extremely powerful and delicious. Maybe some people are good at this. Hehe, don't worry, of course I have no other intentions. I only asked this because I asked you for it. After all, few people dare to enter the 3rd floor of the infernal corpse forest, let alone a powerful alchemist like you. Xiaoyu said. I can barely make medicine pills. As for other things, even if I want to help, I can't help. Xiaoyan also laughed. Obviously, other than making medicine pills, Xiaoyan really didn't need to do anything else. The strength of this person is extremely terrifying. But this matter has to wait for my competition to end. There are still more than 10 days. Xiaoyan also suddenly remembered. This is no problem, and it's not too short of time. Xiaoyu said. If that's the case, let's talk about the reward. Xiaoyan also laughed. Obviously, although his strength is only in the initial stage of the 4-star Dode, compared with the Xiaoyu in front of him, it seems like a big witch. But don't forget that Xiaoyan is an emperor, an alchemist of the 1st rank. The appeal of an alchemist is, he is really a careful little guy. Isn't the previous Emperor Qi not enough? Xiaoyu said. Since your excellency has turned to me for help, then the medicinal pills that I have refined must be of high rank. I should receive a little reward, but the Emperor Qi just now is not enough. Xiaoyan is also a high-level alchemist. Aren't you afraid that I will kill you? Xiaoyu smiled, but the smile was full of danger. I believe that my refining skills will make me worthy of this reward. Xiaoyan also laughed, his aura was not weak at all. What a daring little guy. There is also a reward, it depends on whether you have the courage to take it. Xiaoyu said. With a smile. Oh, what did your excellency mean? Xiaoyan was also surprised. If someone as powerful as Xiaoyu could say this, then it is very likely to be a great treasure. Hehe, the treasure I'm talking about is the treasure in the entire infernal corpse forest, and it's on the 3rd floor. It's just that there is a person next to this treasure whose strength is comparable to mine. Xiaoyu said. Hearing that, Xiaoyan's pupils also shrank tightly. Although the treasure is loved by everyone, if there is a person next to the treasure with the same strength as Xiaoyu, you have to think again, because the strength of Xiaoyu is not very small. Xiaoyan can't see it through. According to Xiaoyan's guess, this Xiaoyu is at least at the level of 6-star Dode. If you want to take something from a 6-star Dode, it is more difficult than going to the sky. The current Xiaoyan is only at the strength of the 4-star Dode in the initial stage, and Xiaoyan is also aware of this. Don't joke, Your Excellency, how would I dare to fetch this treasure? Xiaoyan also wondered. Hehe, there must be a way, it depends on whether you want this treasure or not. Xiaoyu also smiled slowly, and there was some strong confidence. Chapter 223, Space Shuttle Handprint. That's. Xiaoyan also muttered. There was some fiery in his brown eyes. Since Xiaoyu said so, there must be a way. There is a way, it depends on your ability and courage. Xiaoyu also laughed. I haven't tried it yet. Xiaoyan also laughed, with a strong confidence in his voice. After 10 days, it will be the yin moon of the infernal corpse forest, and the ghostly aura of the infernal corpse forest will also become stronger. I will take action against that person on that day, so that's your chance. Don't stop, I have to remind you in advance that there are inevitably some things like you around the treasure. If you can't get them, don't blame me. Xiaoyu also stared at Xiaoyan after saying that. 10 days later, Xiaoyan muttered to himself, there are still 14 days before the points plundering competition. 10 days is also possible, and he immediately nodded to Xiaoyu. Then it's a deal. As for the refining of medicinal pills, I will find you when the game is over. Xiaoyu also laughed. Then wish us a happy cooperation. Xiaoyan also smiled. Obviously this kind of fair cooperation also made Xiaoyan's eyes shine. Xiaoyu showed a hint of approval in her eyes, and said loudly, okay, don't look down in the face of a powerful enemy. You are considered a kid with ambition, but since you are going to this, you must have the courage to fight with the world. Senior, have you seen my 2 companions, one male and one female? Xiaoyan also asked, and the title changed from Your Excellency to Senior. Of course your 2 companions saw it, but don't worry, they are still in a safe place. When you go back from here, you can see them. But it really surprised me. One of your 2 companions is an inheritor, and the other is someone who masters the powerful yin-yang gossip technique. But you are much more powerful than the 2 of them. Senior is joking. Xiaoyan also responded politely. The strength of the silver figure Xiaoyu in front of him is also unfathomable. Xiaoyan has no choice but to admire so many things just from a simple inspection. You don't have to be humble. From the fact that you can come here, you can see that you are stronger than the 2 of them. Because to come here, there are only 2 entrances. One is the entrance of the forbidden enchantment, and the other is a very mysterious place. That place is called the Secret Realm. If I guessed correctly, you entered the Secret Realm and came here according to the instructions, am I right? Xiaoyu also asked. Xiaoyan smiled, but he was not surprised. Senior, you really know everything, I don't even know what to say. But I did enter that Secret Realm. As for the 3rd floor of the corpse forest, I was also guided. But take the liberty to ask, Senior, do you know anything about this Secret Realm? Can you tell me something about that Secret Realm? Xiaoyu smiled lightly and said with a slightly mysterious smile, there are 2 of the most mysterious places in the entire Yin Corpse forest, just like here. When I first came here, that mysterious spatial secret realm already existed. Although I have thought of a lot of ways to get in, it was not until a few years ago that I reluctantly entered by virtue of my own strength. There, in that secret realm, I found a strange red air mass, which I later learned was a dragon soul. I once thought about conquering it, but unfortunately for some reason, I still failed in the end. I can't think of where you entered by chance this time. But what's even more strange is that I can feel the breath of the dragon soul now, and it seems to be in the heavy ruler behind you. This is really surprising to me. There was a hint of surprise in Xiaoyan's eyes. He never thought that Xiaoyu could see how terrifying his strength was. Immediately, Xiaoyan also tightly wrapped the ancient ruler of eternal fire hung behind him. Don't worry, since this dragon soul has chosen you, then I won't be envy others. After all, fate is quite mysterious. Xiao Yu saw Xiaoyan's small movements. Xiaoyan said with some surprise, the dragon soul in the secret realm is indeed in this heavy ruler, but it was only after a lot of effort that I sealed it in this heavy ruler. I didn't expect you to see it at a glance, senior. I really admire it. Xiao Yu smiled and said, actually, it's nothing. When your cultivation level rises to another stage, you will naturally understand many things. Meeting you this time is also a kind of fate. Didn't you always want to ask me just now, how can you break open a space at will, from this space to another space? I'll teach you now, it's our fate. After all, I'll leave here soon after I've dealt with the matter in 10 days. If you don't pass on the space shuttle skills, you will also be lost. I'll pass it on to you. This is actually my unique technique for more than 2,000 years. Even if other people are as strong as me, they can't cross the space at will. Xiao Yu finished speaking, her hands clasped slightly, and then she kept flying in the air. Change handprints. The next moment, a strange silver light appeared from Xiao Yu's finger, and then instantly enveloped Xiaoyan's head. Xiaoyan also stared at the silver space passage in front of him, his expression dignified. On the Doqi continent, the strong Dozong can walk on the void, the strong Dozun can break through the space, and the strong Dosheng can open up a small space. However, according to Xiao Yan's observation, the space channel constructed by Xiao Yu is more like a quite perfect space channel. Ordinary space passages are filled with dangerous fluctuations. After all, the interior of space passages is extremely unstable, and the variables inside are unpredictable, not to mention the safety of people who want to go to another place through space passages. It's just that the silver vortex space channel in front of Xiao Yu is quite different. There is no dangerous aura at all, and there is only an extremely gentle force maintaining this channel. And the most important thing is that what Xiao Yu uses is space shuttle, not a space channel. These are completely two concepts. It takes a lot of time to reach the space channel, but the space shuttle can be reached in an instant. Dozun can break open the space, but the broken space is broken open by Dozun with external force, so it is only a space passage. Although it can be entered by people, it can't achieve 1,000 miles in an instant. The space channel is different. It is the use of internal Doqi and space to create a subtle connection, so that the space connected together is not an exaggeration. What a profound technique! Xiaoyan also secretly exclaimed. Despite the powerful soul in his body, he still couldn't see through the changes in the handprints that Xiao Yu had just displayed. Obviously, something was needed. Did you see it clearly? Xiao Yu waved his hand, and the space channel in front of him disappeared instantly. No. Xiaoyan also shook his head and said, after all, Xiao Yu's technique was quite profound, and it was also the first time Xiaoyan had seen him, so he said it simply. Haha, then watch it carefully. Xiao Yu also said patiently, and after speaking, she began to rehearse. In the cave, Xiao Yu's handprints were constantly changing, and the space passages also appeared and disappeared again and again, while Xiaoyan watched intently, not letting go of any. Chapter 224, Three People Gather. Haha, it's not a waste of time for us to learn this in less than a day. Xiao Yu also smiled and was very satisfied with Xiaoyan in front of her. Thank you, senior. Xiaoyan also bowed deeply to Xiao Yu, because in less than a day, Xiaoyan learned the magic skill of traveling through this space. It was precisely because he learned the magic skill of traveling through space that Xiaoyan knew how powerful this Xiao Yu was in front of him. That's why he respectfully bowed to Xiao Yu. Since it's over, I think it's time for me to go too. But you have to remember that if you want treasure, you have to go to the well earlier. Although I told you something about the well, after all, there are a lot of little unknown secrets in the well. Finished it was. Also the silver light that flashed away and disappeared in an instant. Yeah. Xiaoyan looked at Xiao Yu who was far away and replied softly. Xiaoyan, do you know who he is? Seeing Xiao Yu leaving, Lanji, the ruler above the ancient ruler, also said. He should be the overlord of the corpse forest you mentioned, the Silver Moon Sirius. Xiaoyan also said in a hurry. You actually know. Now it was Long Yi's turn to be surprised. The reason why he didn't dare to show up just now was because Xiaoyan devoured his power of origin, causing Long Yi to be severely damaged at this time. Appearing in front of Silver Moon Sirius is undoubtedly a self-destruction. I already knew. And Xiaoyu also knows that you are in my heavy ruler, but you just didn't make a move. Otherwise, do you think you can escape? Xiaoyan also laughed. Obviously, even now Long Yi has become in the end, he is still greedy for life and fear of death. You devoured my source power and hurt my vitality, but I'm too embarrassed to tell me. Do you know what it was like back then? Wait. The dragon soul was also talking non-stop, and then Xiaoyan ignored the dragon soul and carried the ancient ruler behind his back, looking at a certain part of the cave. The next moment, his eyes lit up, his hands clasped together, and then the handprints on the fingers kept changing, and a very strange silver light instantly flew out from Xiaoyan's hands, and then went towards a certain void in the cave. The darkness in the cave was illuminated by the silver light, and then the space wriggled strangely, and suddenly a meter of space appeared in the cave. Success! Xiaoyan also looked at the silver space shuttle in the sky and said excitedly, "Let's go, it's time to go back." Xiaoyan finished his words, and then his body turned into a milky white flame, and he traveled through the passage towards the silver space. The milky white flame light just entered the silver space shuttle, and the silver space shuttle in the middle of the cave slowly disappeared, as if it did not appear. At this time, peace was restored in the mysterious cave. Xiaoyan, Yura, there's no need for us to go towards the center point when we come to the third floor of the corpse forest, right? I heard that there are powerful creatures on the third floor of the infernal corpse forest. The overlord of the entire infernal corpse forest, Silver Moon Sirius, lives here. The strength of the Silver Moon Sirius is extremely terrifying. There is death but not life. Mu Feng said to himself. Xiaoyan, did you listen to what I said? Mu Feng finished his words and found that no one responded to him, so he turned his forehead to the back and glanced at him. I didn't know this, but I was startled when I saw it. Xiaoyan, Yuro. Mu Feng found that the two of them were not found behind him, and he couldn't help but raise his voice a few decibels. This third floor is really weird. Mu Feng also found out that something was wrong, and then he was clinging to his body with a grudge, and looked around vigilantly. Although Xiaoyan and Yuro couldn't be seen, Mu Feng also vaguely felt that they were by his side, but they were blocked by these strange things. The third floor of the infernal corpse forest is really strange. Why is the ghost energy in it getting more and more serious? I hope I don't encounter the Silver Moon Sirius. Mu Feng murmured, and then his legs and pupils kept turning. At this moment, Mu Feng was surrounded by endless darkness, and the ghost energy was like some thin gas. Yin-yang gossip, throw the universe, break it for me. Suddenly Mu Feng saw a bright spot in front of his left, and he immediately exerted his vindictive energy to the extreme, and then attacked that spot of light. The huge blue-colored doqi gushed out from Mu Feng's body, and then with the sound of bang, 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 like glass breaking, Mu Feng also returned to the place where he had just dispersed. Look, isn't Mu Feng here? A man with a heavy ruler looked at Mu Feng and said, "It's really dangerous. I didn't know what kind of inexplicable power it was just now. I felt like I had entered an enchantment, but then it was also a quilt." Mu Feng said a little proudly. Xiaoyan also laughed, and then he didn't say anything more. Yura and Mu Feng did indeed enter a barrier, but they did not break the barrier by themselves, but Xiaoyan performed the space shuttle technique. The two of them were so easy to ask for the barrier, otherwise they would rely on two human strength. It is quite difficult to deal with that mysterious enchantment. After all, it was set up by Silver Moon Sirius. How could it be broken so easily? The three of them chatted with each other for a while, and found that they were still unresolved, but one thing can be concluded is that the three of them accidentally entered the barrier by mistake, so the previous scene appeared. Since everyone is fine, let's take a rest first. Xiaoyan also said, and he could see that there were a lot of dangers lurking on the third floor of the infernal corpse forest. Leaving the enchantment area, outside the mysterious cave, the three of them also kept moving towards the depths. After a while, the three of them found a leeward place and sat down cross-legged. Xiaoyan also raised a fire in front of him, and the three rested beside the fire together. Xiaoyan, in fact, I have always had a question, that is, if we are avoiding the powerhouses in this point-grabbing competition to protect our points, there is no need to enter such a deep place. this corpse, there seems to be some terrifying existence in the depths of the third floor of the forest, which is what worries me the most. Mu Feng also said in a humming tone. Actually, I don't know either, but there is always a voice guiding me, and that voice seems to be in the depths of the third floor of the corpse forest, so I am getting closer and closer. And one of the important things, I participated in the selection competition this time, was also on the third floor of the infernal corpse forest. Xiaoyan also muttered. Xiaoyan didn't intend to hide them, but this matter involved too much, and Xiaoyan didn't want them to know. Oh, Mu Feng was also surprised. This infernal corpse forest is a place full of ghosts. How could there be such a strange voice, as Xiaoyan said? As for the thing that exists in the depths of the third layer of the corpse forest, you don't have to think about it. You know that there must be a strong guardian guarding it. However, when he thought that he had been helped by Xiaoyan ever since he entered the infernal corpse forest, his heart also became turbulent. Mu Feng is not a ruthless bastard. Since this is the case, then I have no choice but to give up my life to accompany the gentleman. Mu Feng also said after a little thought, and the moment he spoke, he deliberately put on a determined expression, which made the two of them burst into laughter. Let's have a good rest today. If you hurry up tomorrow, you should be able to reach your destination. Xiaoyan also said with relief. The night was very quiet. The voices of the three people kept coming from the bonfire, and the laughter and laughter. Chapter 225, Infighting. The night passed quickly, but the day and night in the corpse forest can't be distinguished with the naked eye. After all, the corpse forest is surrounded by black ghosts all day long. Only the token in hand can know the day and night, as well as the point looting competition. The remaining time. 13. Yuoro also glanced at the token on her waist. Let's go. Xiaoyan also took the lead. Yuoro and Mu Feng also followed behind Xiaoyan. Long Yi, do you know the exact location of the dry well? Xiaoyan also used his soul power to communicate with Long Yi, but Xiaoyan also found that his master Dragon King rarely spoke recently. Obviously, it was like this when he came out of the secret realm, so Xiaoyan did not bother. Isn't the Silver Moon Sirius very specific before? Long Yi also said depressedly. After all, Long Yi just saw what Xiaoyu attached to Xiaoyan's ear and said with his own eyes. Do you know? Xiaoyan also asked with a frown. This is not Xiaoyan's intention to make things difficult for Long Yi. After all, what Xiaoyu said just now only mentioned that the huge treasure was in the dry well on the third floor of the infernal corpse forest. As for the location, it was not mentioned. I know, go this way. Long Yi also motioned to Xiaoyan. Xiaoyan also strode forward, and then the huge soul force constantly enveloped the surroundings to prevent any enemies. After all, the first layer of the corpse forest is a bit mysterious, so it must be treated with care. Afterwards, the huge soul force also vaguely felt that there were several quite powerful forces, one extremely hot, one extremely powerful, and there was some extremely strange aura in the depths, but it was too far away, so it can only be roughly feeling it, then shook his head and walked up quickly. Xiaoyan, what's wrong? Mu Feng also noticed something wrong with Xiaoyan's expression. It's okay, I found some familiar auras, but I don't know who it is. After that, he smiled at the two of them. Forget it, let's go to the destination first. Okay. After speaking, the three of them also walked towards the place where the dry well was. Damn it. How come the restrictions here are so powerful, and the three of us can't open it? The ghost spirit also stared at a giant black doorway in front of him. The ghost spirit of the secluded spring, together with the combined efforts of Hong Yi, the Lord of the Red Valley, did not shake the black giant door in front of him, so they couldn't help but stammered a bit. The restriction on this giant gate is so powerful. Hong Yi also wrinkled her eyes slightly, gently stroking the black giant gate. The red leaf's shallow jade hand just touched the black giant door, and the cold feeling immediately hit the whole body. Suddenly, a very small gray energy also overflowed from the door, and then hit the red leaf. Above the black giant door, there was an extremely horrible fluctuation spread out. Rewind. When the three saw the gray energy, they suddenly backed away. It wasn't until 10 meters back that the gray energy looked around and returned to the black giant gate. This black giant gate is so weird, Yuquin said ghostly. This black giant gate is to besiege the other half of the twin ghost emperors. Breaking through this black giant gate is where the other half of the twin ghost emperors is sealed. The ghost spirit also looked at the black giant gate in front of him with resentment, and found that the three of them were people are also helpless. It seems that we can only wait until the yin moon comes 8 days later. After all, by that time, the ghost energy in the entire yin corpse forest will skyrocket, which will greatly increase our strength. When the time comes, we will have a lot of confidence in breaking this giant black door, said the ghostly spring. After the three of them finished speaking, they were just about to leave, but they found that a rather strange aura slowly appeared from behind. Who is it? Hong Yi was also the first to sense this aura, and then the terrifying 6-star Dodi's aura showed off. Cough, cough, cough. It's me. A weak voice also slowly came from the void. Twin ghost emperors. Hong Yi was also quite surprised. Looking at the black figure in the cloak in front of him, Hong Yi vaguely found that his breath was very sluggish, and he was obviously seriously injured. What's wrong with you, Ghost Emperor? The ghost spirit also supported the twin ghost emperors, and then the strange black ghost energy in his body was continuously transported away, completely ignoring whether it would hurt his own origin. The twin ghost emperors are not just the superiors of the ghost, and the two are not as simple as the relationship between the superior and the subordinate. Because the life of the ghost spirit was saved by the twin ghost emperors, so the ghost spirit also voted for Li and was loyal to the twin ghost emperors. Yuquan kept rolling his eyes on the side, staring at the injured twin ghost emperors. Obviously he had some plans. Our stronghold in Hongshan has been exposed. These Xuantian people should know about our plan. While I was absorbing the last two human beings, I was seriously injured by the last two powerful humans. Cough cough cough, he said, coughing violently. Can't wait any longer. The plan must be advanced. Chi Mei also firmly supported the Ghost Emperor and said decisively, no, the ghost energy has not penetrated into all the participants. And planning ahead will only make us fall short. I absolutely disagree. Yuquan also said angrily. Yuquan, do you know who you are talking to? Chi Mei also said angrily. Don't think of anyone here today starting early. Yuquan Ghost also said angrily. Yuquan, I think you're impatient with your life. The ghost spirit shouted loudly. Humph. I don't know who is impatient to live. Hong Yi, go up. After the ghost spirit of Yuquan finished speaking, the ghostly energy all over his body was also permeating out. A strength comparable to that of a human in the initial stage of the 5-star Dodi suddenly appeared from the ghost of the secluded spring. Damn it, you actually broke through the 5th rank secretly. The ghost spirit was also surprised. Originally, the strength of this secluded spring was only comparable to the strength of the human 4-star Dodi in the initial stage. After absorbing a lot of ghost energy in the cold pool where the twin ghost emperors appeared, it reached the peak of the 4-star Dodi like the ghost spirit level. At first, the ghosts and spirit didn't pay attention, but now I realize that this secluded spring is too cunning. The ghost spirit is the subordinate of the twin ghost emperors, and its strength is comparable to the powerhouse of the peak of the 4-star Dodi, but the peak of the 4-star Dodi and the initial stage of the 5-star Dodi are very different. The face of the ghost spirit was also solemn at this time. Hong Yi, don't listen to the ghosts of the secluded spring, and fight against the ghost emperor. What will you do? The ghost spirit also understands that a ghost of the secluded spring is not a threat, and the most important thing is the master of the Red Valley. Hong Yi, a powerhouse with the initial strength of the 6-star Dodi. When Hong Yi heard the words, her eyes were also slightly wrinkled, and then she looked at the ghost of the secluded spring, obviously worried. Don't worry, Hong Yi, if you help me succeed, don't talk about your lover's life, even if you want this Xuantian to kill your lover's blood, it's a trivial matter. Yuquan also laughed. Ghost Emperor, you go first. I'll stop them. After the ghost spirit said, it was also behind him who killed the twin ghost emperors. Don't even try to run away. Yuquan ghost spirit also greedily looked at the severely injured twin ghost emperor and the ghostly ghost spirit. If you devour them yourself, then your own.
Hi. I hope you enjoyed this video. Please don't forget to like and subscribe to my channel and hit the bell icon to get updated on my latest video. Thank you for watching.